am Michael Rolla, your host, and on today's new directional episode, we're going to talk about cryptocurrencies. Let me make sure I can see what I'm looking at. I'm blind as a bat. So, let's see, I'm going to put this out there for anyone and anyone and everyone. So I wanted to talk about Bitcoin, so I got into it, right? Back when it blew up, back in the day, which it's already blown up right now. We got to change that, but the back in the 20K day, it blew up. Hey Tina, how's it going? I'm gonna wait a little bit till people get into the technical side of things, but yes, let's go. Let's talk about this wealth and abundance that's been waiting, that's been here. It's been released. It's really all just timed, you guys. The reason there's a lot I have to talk about with you all. I hope you guys like the content because it might get confusing, so let me know. Hey Starseed, thanks. Yeah, I got like 4 different backgrounds or so, and it kind of depends on how I feel. I was gonna do the one with the chair sitting in the island and space or wherever that is, but use that for the podcast. I don't know. I love these things. I want to get like millions of them. I'm addicted. I gotta stop. But yeah, nice to see you. I saw your video yesterday. I didn't even get notified you went live. There's some things you were saying in there. I have to straighten some of this out. But no, I'm not here to talk about that right now. But blockchain, you guys, is really here. Abundance, freedom, all of it. It got released, is what I said, right? Because basically, so if you guys have ever heard of the halvening, every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin rewarded that can be created by the miners gets cut in half. So it's literally time release, time dependent, and it's going to suck up and absorb all of the fiat. So it's like inevitable. It's really coming here, guys. So let me read off. I don't know how long I'm planning on going, but I just started. I've been like writing like a madman. I have like 2 different notebooks and then 2 more downstairs. Sorry. 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto, which we don't know if it's a real person or if it's a group of people, or if it was government organizations. And that's what I want to talk about too. Like, a lot of people get confused, like, oh, worried about this, worried about that. Like, is it bad? Is it good? Well, it's what we do with it, right? So what Bitcoin is, what cryptocurrencies are, what blockchain is it's an open source ledger, open source cryptocurrencies, right? And then the ledger is the blockchain itself. So the blockchain connects as the chain and the blocks, right? And so it's a public ledger that you can see all the transactions that go to a certain hash or a certain address, and it's all public. And in order to calculate all the mathematical computations, right, the miners are incentivized with the rewards that they get from in the form of whatever blockchain they're mining on, because you could be like mining Ethereum and then you'll get rewarded in Ethereum. So Bitcoin is open source, which means it's programmable money. So if you know how to code, you can make your own entire Bitcoin. I mean, it's really easy to actually just make a coin, like a Mike Rolla coin or something. Like 2 seconds, you can go on a website because the scripts are already written and they're already out there. But basically, because it's open source, that's what allows it for the decentralization, and so you can access it around the world. And the miners, rewarded for running the network. They validate the transactions, and it's always the longest chain wins. So that's why it's always protected. The goal of Bitcoin is to be trustless. Not Bitcoin, blockchain. I have to be careful with that because the whole point is the blockchain technology. It's not about the cryptocurrencies per se. And this is what people really need to understand. That's why most people are worried or afraid or, like it's another system and they're just going to suck us in and blah, blah, blah. No, it's completely open source. It's for the people. But blockchain, Bitcoin, depending on what coins you use, is what makes it centralized or decentralized. And that's what we have to watch out for because there's real things to watch out for. There's some companies out there that have coins that are just in it for the money grab. And they're legitimate coins, but that's their only purpose. So you have to know who's behind the coin, what it was created for, and the intentions moving forward. With the company, and they should have roadmaps. Like if you go to their websites, you can see what they're doing. You can see their board of directors, the panels. You want to know who their investors are and who's working on the projects. And the reason why blockchain is so good is because of the smaller fees. It gets rid of banks. Again, it's trustless in that way. So even banks it's going to appeal to banks because they can use it as a store of value, which actually gains money because a lot of these coins you can stake, and it's called proof of stake, and then that's how you get rewarded for holding up the network. And then it's non-confiscatable. So there's not going to be any bank runs, guys. What was that? I forget what years it was where there was bank runs, and I think there was some in China or something like that too that happened once or twice, or like recently, and they don't have the money because if you guys know, your banks don't hold all the money that we all have, right? Like they're only a percentage of it. So, if you need that money as one day and you can't get it out, that's why you gotta bury it in the walls, guys. So let's see, trustless, smart contracts, that's what provided its ability to be trustless. One party writes up one side of the smart contract and then it's signed and then it's approved by the other party. Or it's like if you guys are familiar with the simple swap, you write up the contract first and then once the first half of the contract is sent, the second half will initiate. So it's trustless. You don't have to wait for so and so, he's holding your half and then you're holding his half and you're like, okay, have to exchange the drug deal, in the movies, or whatever, or give me my whatever, my daughter back for this bag of cash, same time, go, you don't have to worry about that anymore with this. Proof of work, proof of work, high cost, proof of stake, low cost. They're switching from proof of work to proof of stake. The proof of work is with the miners because they're actually working. Proof of stake means that you just own the coins, so then you create your node and then you uphold the network, and so that's what provides for the decentralization. It's decentralized because it's open source, it's public ledger, anyone can read the blockchain at any time from any computer, anywhere. So there's really no way to centralize that and monopolize that. Like if you got a phone and you're in Africa and you hook up to the internet and you got a blockchain, whatever you got, you're right on the network, and you're gonna know based on the longest chain, the longest proven chain that all the miners can verify that it all matches up. It's a blockchain, so that's why it's trustless. And so just the technology alone, banks are gonna love it. Banks, huge companies, everyone. It's way better than having to deal with us humans, right? So, making mistakes in the accounting department, it's going to get rid of auditing. It's going to get rid of everything. And that guy coming into your, business and auditing you and whatever, it's not going to have to be done, because it's already done on the blockchain. So that being said, there's a million more things. I'm going to jump all over this page. So we're talking about I was talking about the halving, and so the rewards, it gets halved every 4 years, right? Okay, so Bitcoin is only going to ever have 21 million coins created ever. So it can't keep printing money like fiat dollars, like just out of thin air. So if 21 million is it, eventually you're not going to be able to get any at some point. So the value is going to skyrocket. This is part of why it's going to skyrocket, just the availability alone. Right now, well, I'll get to that. Yeah, I'll get to that later. But the difference in that is that this is a deflationary currency. A lot of people also get confused and worried with the idea that, oh, it's another scam or it's another cash grab or whatever, but it's not inflationary. It works completely different. It's just like this awakening, the spiritual movement, whatever you want to call it, that's going on now, that it's a completely different way of looking and doing and living and everything, so it's not going to be based on what you think you know or what you do know from the past. So hi Maz, is it Marion? Hey Maz, nice to see you. And where was I? I was thinking, yeah, so since it's deflationary and not inflationary, just in that general sense, like where the dollar will constantly lose value, Bitcoin's eventually just going to keep gaining value. It's why Bitcoin is like gold. They say the big, and then they made Litecoin. They actually forked off and did Bitcoin Cash because of difference of opinion and ideas of what to do with Bitcoin. And I don't want to talk too much about, there's hard forks and there's soft forks, and essentially I'm going to get them mixed up actually if I try to do it now. I didn't want to talk about it. I was going to look it up before I hopped up here, but it's basically when you change the code so that previous transactions are no longer valid, so that forks it off. I think that's the hard fork. But then the soft fork is where it's like the reverse, so it's all transactions are going to be valid on the new one. So, so when it forks, new miners, new direction, new, like people behind it. You have to know the projects and like what they're doing. So it's, because that's some of these coins that are out there are not really worth what they say they are, right? So inflationary, deflationary, right? That's why I wrote candy bars. That's why, like, back in the day, you get a candy bar for 50 cents or something, and now it's like $1.50 or like $2, for a big one or something. And then, yeah, one day we will run out of the Bitcoin and you will not be able to get any. Although there's going to be a lot of ways that you can, like, swap into Bitcoin, you know what I mean? But the simple idea of just having a little bit is going to be, a big deal later on. But there's tons. And then there's altcoins. I mean, okay, so hold on, let me go into order. The miners, the first one that solves the block gets the reward. This is why you'll see mining companies competing. A lot of miners, they'll pool together and do like cloud mining. So then you have a higher chance of actually getting the reward and being the first one, so they pool in, so they all use their hash power together, and then they'll get a better likelihood of winning, and then they get the rewards, and it splits the rewards. Obviously, the more people, the more hash power, but then the more you have to split the rewards. But then that's all online, it's cloud, it's not really owned by you, so you got to be careful. And then, let's see, so it's miners, so I think everything on miners, inflation, deflation, yeah. Exchanges, apps, and websites. Okay, yeah, we can talk about wallets. I really wanted to talk about wallets. There's about 5 different types of wallets, basically, and they go in order from good to bad, and not good to bad, but like secure to less secure. So I think this is really important that you guys know. The most secure wallet is your hardware wallet. It's the Trezor or the Ledger Nano or the KeepKey has one. Digital Bitbox, yeah, that's the other one. These will also protect you from infected computers. So even if you plug it into a computer that has a virus, it'll still protect your funds. no matter what. And it's a unit, it's a hardware wallet. I think mine's downstairs. And it's a USB, and you just plug it into the computer, and then it'll sign transactions, once you plug it in. So you could write transactions up like online to your address, and then nothing will happen until you plug it in, and then you approve it from anywhere in the world. So hardware wallets, there's a little bit, because you have to carry it with you. It stores your private key on the actual unit. So, unless it's plugged in and unless your password, they're like really secure. And then, of course, I think the best way, most secure, is memorizing your phrase, your passphrase. Try to have like one wallet or one big wallet, right? Like, because that holds all the coins. And then you can eventually memorize that, and then we'll be good, because there's a lot of different wallets. And we keep bouncing back and forth too, just with the community. Then there's paper wallets. Paper wallets are like even way more secure, almost. I'd say maybe a little less, because the hardware locks it with the technology, and and it's all programmed in there. Whereas in a paper wallet, you have to write it out. It can be a little technically confusing or something, but then like if that gets wet, then it's kind of like gone unless you memorize the thing again. I've never done one myself, but paper wallets, I like the idea of just having a USB, right? But with paper, it's cool because you can like write out transactions, and then it's legit. It just has to go into the public blockchain the next time, you enter it. Like, I don't know all about them. Like, I've never done them, but since the blockchain is digital and it's online, you'll have to upload it at some point. So then kind of technical, and then not all the coins are offered for paper wallets, so you kind of got to be careful what coin you're going to put on a paper wallet. But most of them do, I think. Then there's desktop wallets, things like Exodus, Lisk, or Bitcoin Core. And these are ones where it's just a software like you install. You just download it on the website, and then you just put it on your desktop. And that's a little bit better, than the last two. It's right in the middle. Because at least you shut it down, it's offline, but your keys are stored on your computer, so it's on, so if you have any viruses or malware or anything like that, you just have to be careful. And then again, just keep your computer safe and you're fine, Mobile wallets would be the next one going down, number 4 out of 5. And the mobile wallets are the ones that we've been using most often. So anytime you guys start to get any significant amount of this that you want to store away, I would suggest looking into like the hardware wallet. They do run from like $70 to like $150, I think. But you'll have it for like the rest of your life, so it's worth it in the long run. And then let's see. Yeah, and in mobile, you have to be careful that you have control of your private keys on them. So definitely make sure that you're hitting that button, private keys, and you can import and you can move it around. We have to be careful with things like that. With moving them to too many, that the more we move them to, the more open, or the more they're around. So if you moved it to one, instead of then moving it back, make sure you actually delete it from the app and then uninstall the app on your phone. Let's see. And the most, sometimes problems can still happen with the developers with the mobile ones. If they, there's, I think the article I was reading mentioned about that too. And then, I think that was it, yeah. And then the least popular, the least secure, are actually hot wallets, which are called web wallets. So things like MetaMask and other things like this that are extensions that hook up as plugins into your browsers. The reason why is because they're online all the time. And again, if you have a safe computer, you're going to be okay. But we definitely want to keep, you just keep minimal amounts in these things. As far as security goes, again, it's just the range of what's available. So it's not like they're not secure. MetaMask is actually one of, what is it called? I didn't write it down. That one and another one, it's like they're non something, so they're a little bit more like safer to use, and then again, as long as you have your key phrase, and I would check your wallets every now and then, but it's for minimal amounts. Hacking it in the first place is literally impossible, right? Like hacking Bitcoin, hacking a cryptocurrency. You're most likely, it's just gonna happen one day when you go to type in your password and you had a virus. You know what I mean? So just don't have any viruses and you're fine. It's really not that. It's not that bad. Especially if there's people out there who got accounts that got bazillion, those are the ones that are getting, they're trying to hack. But what's unique about Bitcoin, I wanted to talk about that too, is how secure it really is. Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, all of this. The way that the hash works, so every block goes into another block, and it has the hash of the old block. So it calculates the number and it adds the inputs, gives you the output. That output goes into the next input, and then it calculates a brand new number, and it calculates a brand new hash based off of your address, the amount of whatever, and then off of it's called SHA-256, right? Is the algorithm. And so every time, it's based on the time, based on the date, based on every time a transaction goes through, it's a brand new hash. And there's virtually zero chance of ever hacking it. Because I think they said the amount of power it would take would be so many lifetimes to even just get into one. It would be no, it's not lifetimes. It would take more power generated that it's not even worth it. If they're trying to hack something, they're better off just begging for change on the street. They'll make more money that way, based off of how impossible it is. Hey Sarah, talk about which card is a smart way to get your benefits from your crypto. Well, it depends on what crypto you're pulling from. So depending on your card is going to depend on if the card even accepts that crypto. So the card's going to work like your bank accounts do, right? So if we have a card, there has to be the wallet tied to it. So cards should work in a way that it should be any crypto that you have in your wallet that the card is tied to, you'll be able to use. But I would look into the specifics. And yeah, I will too. If you want to know, if you want to get a card, let me know. Send me a message. And yeah, we'll look into that, because you're going to notice there's going to be a lot of cards that are going to be coming out. There already is. Fold has a card. I don't know if Lolly's having a card. There's a lot. What's all these other apps? Yeah, everybody's gonna have a card. And then even MasterCard is the number one investor behind Litecoin, right? So, I mean, there's just gonna be cards. What we're gonna end up getting is we're gonna have a card, and it's gonna have the Visa logo, and it's gonna have a little Bitcoin logo or something, whatever it ends up being. Yeah, okay, I'll look into cards. I'll make sure. And then all you would do is just put your funds onto the card. So you import your wallet. So we'll get into that. But I have to make sure it's universal. I think that'd be all that it is. I'll have to see what's out there. Because like I say, like, yeah, just don't go getting cards. You probably could, but then you'd just be sitting there with some. You can put it on any one of them, right? That's at least it should be, because since we're so early, that's what a lot of the user interface and the all of that stuff has to go through, is making it user friendly. So there's going to be a lot of cards, so I'd like wait, and then I'd get that one, later after. You don't want to get the first card. Let's see. Yeah. So So the happening. So May of 2020, May just passed. Was another happening. So Bitcoin went from basically what it is. It's the number happening. Okay, good. I wrote it. It's the number of Bitcoin entering circulation every 10 minutes. So it drops by half every 4 years. So it went from 12 and a half to 6.25, 6 and a quarter, is the total amount of rewards that can be earned. Like, yeah, only 6 points per day. Per day? It's per day. It should be per day. Or is it every 10 minutes? Every 10 minutes, that's what I just said. Every 10 minutes, guys. But now what's important about this is that every day right now, because of the way all these companies and institutions are starting to buy this, is every day is a happening right now. Every day. That's scary. PayPal alone, and I mentioned this in chat, I think with Buzz, PayPal alone is buying more Bitcoin per day than the miners are able to produce or, calculate and create. 57% of all Bitcoin that's being bought is being hodled for 1 year. Hodl, hold on for dear life. This is what the community has been doing for a while. So for 1 year, so that means every time it's being bought up, right, it's half again. PayPal is not just the only institution, okay? Grayscale. It's like the biggest institution in the world. MicroStrategies, putting another 500 million. Was it? Or they're gonna? Or, yeah, they're getting ready to. They already did. And that's like PayPal too. PayPal's buying it all up because they're getting ready to offer it to people. Like all this stuff's happening behind the scenes. So right now, the institutional money FOMO is at an all-time high, fear of missing out. There's virtually no mainstream media attention about any of it. There's gonna start to be. Watch. I mean, if there hasn't been already, I don't watch it, but I'm sure 34K now. They're gonna start talking about it. The central banks are recognizing it as a reserve currency. So even the banks want in. That's a big deal. Retail investors in emerging markets are investing in what they hope is a revolution. And because everyone's trying to get out of the system, because no matter how much you created, like, unless you own it, you ain't in the club, so it's like, even a lot of big businesses, they want to be free too. So there's a lot of FOMO for these, PayPal wants to offer it, Grayscale is buying it up, MicroStrategies is buying, everyone is buying it up like in droves. It's insane right now what's happening, but we don't even hear about it. That's why the prices, and the way the price goes is the more people, the higher it goes, the faster it goes, because it's eating up the deflationary or the inflationary currency. So it was literally set as a time bomb to go off. So if you look at like the scale, there's the scale of like the halvening and the way it's like set to go off. So it's like it's just revving up. It's just, I'd have to show you the scale. One day I'm going to have like a laptop. I'm going to have like a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to do this for real. But for now, you're just going to have to use your imagination. Let's see. Yeah, so we're still early, guys. Like, get in front of it. What's important right now is setting up these systems because people are going to come. I was talking about being the crazy crypto person in your community, you know. You want to be that person because they're all going to come. They have no idea what it is, and as soon as they figure out the freedom, when it's open source, that means that you can write it to do anything. You could literally just make it make more coins of itself, just keep making babies and just feed the community, you know, and then trade with each other. And then you can write it so that every time we trade, it creates the transaction fee, but then the transaction fee goes to the node holders, whoever holds up the system, so then you get rewarded, so then the money is literally circulated back into and from within the community. So it's amazing. It's amazing what this technology is. And again, I say crypto and Bitcoin a lot, but it's blockchain. You know, it's the blockchain technology that's here, that's quantum, that's, you know, and why is it quantum? Because we can write it to be quantum. We can, you know, what's all this learning been for? All the scientists, right? We're figuring out all this stuff, and now we can actually use it for things. We can, you know, for finances, for, you know, we're going to have all kinds of stuff. Just talk about Bitcoin on this video. Let me see if I have anything else. So the reason why Ethereum was created, right, was because Bitcoin is Turing complete. It's like a computer term, and basically it's a it mathematically computes like an abstract machine. So if that makes sense, so it's Turing is like a base model for, you know, an algorithm that will always produce, you know, consistent results, right? And so, but because of it, it's like slow, basically. It's slower than Vitalik, who created Ethereum, wanted it to be, which makes a lot of sense for, you know, daily applications and stuff like that. So that's why Bitcoin is like the store of value. It's slower. People don't really use it. What the difference with Bitcoin is, you know, because you could say that whoever has the money and whoever can buy all the Bitcoin owns all the Bitcoin, but it doesn't necessarily work in that way because it's not about the coin. Again, it's about blockchain, right? So to add a little bit here, you know, a coin is a coin is a coin. It depends on what the coin is being used for. So you can use any of them because at any point in time, you with your own wallet as an independent, be your own bank person by yourself, with your own, you can pull any coin off of any blockchain and put it onto your wallet. And so then it's in your own possession, and it's yours now. Save that word. So blockchain, the technology is coming regardless. It's already here. They all want it. Humanity goes in the direction of efficiency. We're always figuring things out and figuring ways out to do better and make it newer. You know, that's why they want robots doing all the work instead of humans, because we make too many mistakes, right? But so it's inevitable. Like, it's something that's going to happen no matter what. What else was I going to say? Something popped in there. Shoot, I didn't catch it. I didn't hold it for long enough. I wanted to say Backed. So if you look at the project Backed, BAKKT, it's by ICE, by Intercontinental Exchange, and Intercontinental Exchange is the owner of the New York Stock Exchange. And the Backed project is basically, it was created to be the main number one source of all cryptocurrency holdings, like 1.2 trillion plus something. So like we're switching over from the New York Stock Exchange to the backed exchange, and don't quote me on that at all. Nothing I'm saying today is valid or makes any sense or is true or is verified by anybody who's professional. This is my disclaimer portion of all of this. So I don't know what I'm talking about, guys. I got something in my eyes. I want to remember that one part. What was I talking about? It was so good. I wanted to add that. Hold on. Oh. That it's inevitable. It is inevitable. Let's see. Well, it's on this one. They're going to use wrapping to issue currency. Yep, that's going to be important. Don't worry about that. That's probably more than I have time to explain right now. Wrapping is going to be a new way. If you guys look on the markets, that's what I'm talking about. If you look on the markets and exchanges, you'll see wrapped Bitcoin, but we'll get into that later. So exchanges. So to clear up any confusion for anyone who's new, exchanges are where you actually trade it. All exchanges have wallets in them. So a lot of times people get confused, like Coinbase is an exchange where you buy them off of it, and when you buy it, it goes into your Coinbase wallet, the one that's on that exchange, not that app Coinbase wallet, right? So every exchange has its own built-in wallet, so you can store them when you buy them, and then you have to pull them off, and what you want to do is pull them off and get them into your own possession, because as long as it's still on that exchange, like if you buy on Coinbase, you don't want to leave it on Coinbase. That's I'll save the example, but you want to transfer it into your wallet on your mobile or a hardware or a desktop or whatever, something else where you have control of the keys and you have your passcode, passphrase or whatever, and you can you have control. And there's a thing that's out there where it's called no, not your keys, not your coins, something like that. And Trace Mayer, he basically started this sort of movement thing back couple years, it's been 2 years now or something like that, where I think it's every January, isn't it? Sometime in January, maybe it's after the election this year, but what it does is it sort of forces the exchanges to be honest. So there's one day of every year that he encourages all cryptocurrency traders, people, anything, to take all your coins off of all the exchanges and put them into your wallets. Because then what this does is it forces these BS exchanges, right, that say they have all these amounts that they really don't have, which is why some of them, they'll hold your coins because they don't have them technically. There's all these things. So this is why with exchanges, you really want to be careful with leaving them on there. But in this way, it would, for auditing purposes, it would give them the incentive to be correct and whatnot. What you're going to notice with the coins is as we switch over, there's going to be a lot more incentive to put your coins into accounts and get interest on your coins. The percentages are going to be way better than you're going to get at any banks right now, because the fiat dollar is dying. I mean, that's why you don't get any good percentages, because all the money's it's becoming more and more worthless. It's just the way it works. You can't have an inflationary currency and just have it last forever. It's just not going to happen. We're going to have to switch to something more important. And eventually what we'll have is we'll have that technology where we have secure phones, or we'll have our secure hardware wallet. We can put it on our phone, and the phone just connects when we need it. So we can be anywhere in the world, and we'll be able to just sign a transaction, and just go and just live like nomads, just travel all the time, whatever. Or don't, if you don't want to, whatever. It's going to be really fun, guys. It's going to be an amazing future. But that's the importance of getting in front of it now. I really want to emphasize that, it's not about Like, I understand people are skeptical, and you should be skeptical whenever you're investing in anything, but do your research, and you could make a killing, or um, or you could lose it all. But never invest in anything that you're not willing to lose. And then that being said, there's a lot of really amazing projects out there that are happening, that I am privileged to be a part of, that we create these wonderful communities around and bring such wealth and abundance to all of us, who are a part of it. And so, yeah, I wanted to talk about really just having the correct mindset. I think is the last thing on here. It's just, what I said in the beginning is we're going from lack and scarcity models in economics and all this, whatever they teach you in school, to like complete abundance, because the truth is Mama Gaia is always rebirthing herself all the time. Like, our cells are constantly dividing, we're constantly growing, constantly, or being recycled. So, this whole, lack mentality is changing, and we all want to live in the abundance that we are. And so whether it starts coming out in ways of expressing yourself as your personality, or your soul mission, or your whatever it's coming out of, your finances, or just any relationships in your life that you're in, like it's all the same abundance that's coming, and this is why we get, the triggers happen, and around, and we're getting triggered on all levels to accept a reality that maybe we never thought was possible. So that's a pretty big thing to allow in. That takes time, so keep doing your meditations so you can stay up to speed, right? And really, check and see how you feel about, the crypto space. And that's the thing again, most people are worried because they just don't know. They don't know what this stuff is, and they don't know what's happening. And some projects are bad. You don't want to mess with some of them because they're just bad. So do your research. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Like, I'll look them up. I've been looking them up for some time, but there's a lot of people out there too, that you can, just hop on YouTube and just, I'll point you in the right direction if you have questions, like about a certain thing or whatever. I probably know the guy, like a good guy to watch or person to watch, or something like that, because it's a lot to do, for one person. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to get some full-time spiritual, full-time crypto, full-time Tai Chi, full-time channel. I love it, guys. I'm just gonna start blabbing it out for now until it gets organized, because I don't want to miss. I don't want to not do this. It's so much fun staring at myself on the screen. See what I mean? It's divinely planned. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I thought that was okay. Cool, guys. I hope that helped. I don't know. It's probably a lot of information. Hopefully, I didn't confuse you too much. Mentality. Yeah. What was I saying about mentality? I think I was starting to say something about that. It's building the community. This is literally what's happening. Like, we are the economy. The new economy, it's us. Be the weird crypto guy, because everybody's going to come run into you one day, and then hopefully you're going to have a business already set up that they can help you with, right? Something like that. So really, the time is now. Like, the opportunities are now. And then in 5-10 years from now, it's all going to be blockchain. And we're way ahead of it. The fact that we even know what a wallet is, or like how to send, how to buy, I mean, that's light years ahead of like anybody. And all it is just, it's the idea of being your own bank, right? Because you walk around with your bank account in your pocket. And then again, it's not just in your pocket because it's not on the phone. Somebody steals your phone. Oh no, that's okay as long as you know your passphrase, which they'll never know because now even if they got your phone, they shouldn't have at least your password. And then you can just do SMS where you get a text message with the code for your password. So it's like, I mean, it's more secure, it's trustless, and that works for the businesses too who don't want to bother with us when we buy something and then people, and there's scams with that too, like people who will buy something with a card and then they'll call their bank after it was shipped and be like, hey, no, that wasn't me, cancel this transaction, and then they get it anyway, so with blockchain you won't be able to do that anymore. So sorry, there's some drawbacks. You guys got to be careful. And again, but it's sovereignty. You want to be free, that means you got to handle all of your business, all of it, every aspect. It's not what we're all used to doing, necessarily, right? Like, I'll just check my bank statement. No. Like you're gonna be your bank statement. Well, in that case, it'll be on your phone too, anyways, because you can just reference the blockchain, public ledger. Anyone can reference it. And so there's coins out there that are privacy coins. There's gonna be a lot of like stuff that's gonna come. We're gonna be literally living in the Jetsons world, like in like the next 20, 30 years or something. It's gonna be really crazy. Oh my gosh, good, Galactica. I'm so curious about your card. What card is it? We were just talking about cards. Did you get it for Tron? Is it for Forsage? Or, sorry, did I say that out loud? That's one of the amazing communities that we're building, guys. So let me know if you want to be a part of it. Ew. I was eating before this. There's some breadcrumbs. How long was it there? That's nasty. You can tell I powdered before this, Damn notebook. I'm kidding. I love you, notebook. Yeah. I'm gonna see about cards. I was saying, there's gonna be so many cards that are gonna come out, and as long as you import your wallet or you like connect it to your whatever wallet with all your cryptos, like, it shouldn't matter what cards we get, But I'm still gonna wait. I don't want to get. I'm gonna end up having. Oh, what about that new one that just came out? Like, get that new card. Oh, it doesn't have that one coin on it, and that's the one coin I needed. Like, I don't know. Like, but yeah, I think it's great for the systems that, like, anything you're a part of. If they got a card for it, it's just gonna make it easier. And yeah, like I said, we're gonna be walking with the phone. We'll just use our card. Actually, you know how you have the QR codes and you can scan them? We're probably going to have one on our card, and so then you can hook up to the internet, right, buy something, and then just scan your card with your phone, and then you're good. So it's like you almost have two separate pieces, because you'll have to log in with your password on your phone to get to the buy and the sell and the whatever you're doing, and then get the QR code, and then you'll have your card for verification. That's going to be cool. Like, we're going to be like independent, like free to walk around, go wherever we want to go. Marion, feel the nudge to explore more. Yeah. Let me know if, like, what you're thinking, so I can send you in the right direction. And I'm going to be doing a lot more too. I realize I'm trying to do too much by, like, separating, like, all the stuff I want to do. So I'm just going to start putting it all on this channel for now, and then I'll worry about it later. Oh, a block card. Okay, yeah, cool. Breadcrumbs. Oh, nice on the beard. I know. That's funny. Like, I'm looking at comments. I can't even see my face this whole time. Hey, block card. Oh, okay. Yeah. Block card. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that should be good. Blockchain. The thing with the card is, as long as it can, like, that's what I have to check out. I don't know if cards are limited in the way that a wallet would be. I think the card would only be limited by the limitation of the wallet. You know, like, so if you had the bread, speaking of bread, if you had the bread wallet, it's a Bitcoin only specific wallet. That's why it's bread. And then loaf is the Litecoin, which is, I think, is really cute. But like if you had those wallets and then you linked it to your card, you would only be able to access that one coin. And then I don't know, maybe you can link more than one wallet. No, there'd be no way, because then every time you swiped it, it wouldn't know where to pull from. So that's what I mean. You want to have one really good wallet. Like, and I was talking about that. Get a hardware wallet, get a Trezor, or a Ledger, or a Kiki, or a digital Bitbox. But hardware wallets, hardware will be good because you can use it almost everywhere. Okay, yeah, exactly. Cool. Then it'll link up to your I know how they, you do them anyways, is you link it to obviously your wallet because that's where all your money's at. Yeah. They're gonna be awesome. It's gonna be like a whole new world. And they're harmless. So yeah, try them out. See how it goes. It's just a card. But no, I haven't. I should probably get one. Especially now it's blowing up, guys. And again too, with the price, it's nothing. It's nothing. Like our kids, grandkids, they're gonna be looking at us like, you bought Bitcoin back when it was 30,000? You got it when it was 40,000? And they're gonna be like they're saying already it's like it should be at 500K, like easily. Like the one guy, because the difference, you guys, is most analysts, they're analyzing the blockchain based off of like exchanges, and it depends on how you're analyzing it, right? So you have to be careful with some of the people that you watch and where they're getting their information from. So there are like legit dudes out there where they analyze the actual that's been going on, because when an exchange opens up, they can like kind of copy paste, and then a lot of these exchanges, they're sort of linked into each other, so they sort of show once like another one does something, it goes to that one, so they record it. And so in a way it's almost like it's not with the original chain, it's almost like a centralized system within itself. So like there's people that are like looking at the actual one, right? And according to some of them, it's like it should be in the hundreds, like 400K, like right now, easily. So this price that we're seeing is a manipulation, and people wonder about that too, the manipulation, right? Like, I mean, essentially, yeah, like when you control the button for, whatever, like, you can shut all the power off, you can blah, 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 you can, computers, back doors to all the computers, I mean, it's like, yeah, but the idea is that, it's not something they want to destroy either. It's not like, people want this technology, so it's going to come out one way or another. And so it's our chance to really get in there and get set up, go with the tide as it rises and grow. And what else I want to say about, like, it being bad, or it's all about like it's not just how you use it, it's like I mean, ultimately, yeah, that's all it is. I can't think of what else I wanted to say. Like, yeah, it's just it's not about like bad or good. It's really just another money system. So, but what's unique about it, right, is how, like with our project that we're doing, is, when you buy real estate, which this really is in a bigger sense. These coins and buying enough to run a node so you can validate the transactions and then you earn the rewards, right? Like a miner. Getting these things now, these are going to pay out generational wealth coming down, years down the line, because these things are going to keep giving you, right now it's the land grabs. People compare this to like the dot-com bust. They compare it to like everything. And sure, not everybody got Yahoo, AOL, and Time Warner, or I say AOL, not, well, when it came, not everybody won, but some of them like blew up like crazy, when the internet and all that. So it's the same thing that's happening now with the new technology. And that's why there's no mainstream, media news around it. That's why, like everything's happening the way it is. It's why people are still saying, oh no, it's a scam and you got to watch out for it and this and that. And it's just not the case. It's not what's happening. It's not what it is. Learn what it is. You guys will be blown away. Like with this, like with Forsage, it's an amazing system. Don't look it up on your own. Come ask me if you have questions. Just saying. Because again, it's a good example right there. How you use it. That's what we're doing. We're building communities with it. So, yeah. Some of you already know that. Cool. All right. That was about an hour. Cool. It did go for an hour. 56. It's an 11. That's my number. My favorite number. I guess my favorite. I don't know. Can I say that? It means I like ones a lot. All right. Cool, guys. Love yous. I'll let yous go for now. And I'm getting more regular and more sporadic at the same time. So I'll try to get something regular here. I'll do my Sundays. Got my Sundays going on, and then hopefully I'll be able to do something crypto every week. I'm wondering how much time I'll have to really dig up enough information. Because that one, like with the FOMO in right now, and the price rising, that's going to change. It's going to change soon. They're all going to be in, and then and I mentioned that too, real quick for anyone out there, before we go, that a lot of the reason why it's not even more money and it's still being kept down is really, if you think about it, it's being kept down for us to get in now. Like while we can, and because what I'm gonna say is the big players, investors, they're not allowed to invest in things that aren't a minimum level, a minimum price. So, for example, like the big investing companies like AIG or whatever, big huge broker firm. I don't know if they're one, but don't quote me. I don't know all this stuff. They can only buy Bitcoin like once it hits 50K because they have limits, because they work with so much money. They're not allowed to play in chump change, 30K chump change. So when these guys get in, it's why we keep saying, like, it's gonna go hyperbolic. It's gonna go insane. And again, it's just talking about the Bitcoin. The reason why we talk about the Bitcoin so much is because that's the parent. It was the first one that came out. It's what all the other ones are based off of. It doesn't always mean that the other ones will follow it. But for the most part, everything is kind of tied to the rise and fall of it because it's the OG, and everything kind of, like Ethereum was based off of that because it was too slow. They wanted to make it for newer technologies faster, so they built it on top. It's a separate thing. It's like it's layered, it splits. It gets kind of more confusing when you go into it, but it's like a side chain. Anyways, I don't even want to start. I'm trying to find which way to go with that, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, yeah. So Love you guys. See if anything pops out on the last minute. Okay, talk to you.